Don't judge me. I just wish he knew. That's just like you.
Well. What's going on, people? What's going on, people? Man, this is the six-man combo coming in on a Thursday evening. As you already know, I am your host, K Styles, aka the Sixth Man. Riding shotgun with me on this evening. It is Mad Mike Sports.
Hello.
Well, as you see at the bottom of the screen, make sure you hit that like, subscribe button to 16K Live, where we sit here and have the sports topics, whether it be Atlanta Falcons, whether it be NFL, NBA, etc. So just let y'all know, today's episode will not be all the way Falcons related, but it's just going to be based solely on Q&A side of things.
Uh-huh.
So, like I said, I don't expect nobody to really be here because it's not Falcons related, because I know how some of y'all asses is. So, we got King Trainway, we got D Sloan in the building. Um, as you see in the background, this is on some cowgirl shit. Uh, but this was a question that actually was sent to me by a DM from a Cowboys fan, which was very interesting to me because I don't think I ever got that before. Almost felt kind of special because people actually asking me questions about the. But before we get started on that conversation in itself, man, Mike, how you doing this evening, man?
Hey, I'm very good.
Smoke weed every day. So, if you got an opportunity to see some of the upcoming news that's been going on in the NFL today, if you hadn't caught it, your boy JJ Watt, not JJ Watt, TJ Watt,
DJ.
just signed a major contract extension, which makes him the highest non-paid quarterback in NFL history, which was a 3-year, $125 million extension.
Yep.
Um, as we already kind of heard of the news beforehand, was that was kind of one of the major problems going on in Pittsburgh land, where TJ wanted some contract negotiations to go down, and this is what the end result ended up being. So, like I said, man, it ended up being a 3-year, $123 million extension.
Uh-huh.
Mike, as I asked you the question, was that A137? Auntie Pam, what's going on? Shout out to
Hey.
everybody. Hey, Auntie Pam. So, so with this contract extension, do you think? So, my question to you is, how do you feel about this contract extension for one said TJ Watt?
I think it's fucking stupid.
Do tell, do tell, do tell. Why do you think it's
This is
stupid?
fucking retarded. This is fucking retarded. You haven't won a Super Bowl with TJ Watt with 100 sacks, but you're gonna give him $100 million guaranteed, and you haven't gotten there. And he's been there what for a good 7 years or so. So you're giving this
It's been
guy
about
a hundred
7 years.
million dollars. You're giving this guy $100 million based on what he's been for the organization. Now that typically never pans out. So TJ Watt, a terrific, wonderful player, but if you think you're gonna win a championship with just TJ Watt paying him $100 million, you sadly mistaken because he's had 20 sacks in a year. He's had 10-digit sacks every year, and you barely make it to the playoffs. So I wouldn't have given him $41 million for like 2 years in a row like that. Look, that's fucking stupid. I'm not. I don't give a damn how much you meant to this organization. This is a dumb contract. You're paying guys just like the Atlanta Falcons did with Julio Jones. Congratulations, contract. We love you, contract. Once you start getting into that, I love you and I adore you for what you've meant to this franchise. That's when you make a lot of mistakes. I know a lot of people go like, yeah, but he teaches why he get a bunch of sacks. Yeah, but have the team gotten better with him on the defensive side of the ball? They still the
So the
same.
question, so the question comes down to is also with that. Do you think that it's on also on the fact that with them trading for a Jalen Ramsey and giving up a Minka Fitzpatrick? Do you think that that particular move right there in itself is going to be a difference as far as getting a guy who's kind of like a big nickel corner and trading him away for a guy who's an outside corner guy? You think that's going to actually help elevate the sack numbers for Pittsburgh in general?
No, it's mixed thing. Like, look, I'm I'm being real, man. It's like this league is slowly turning back into physical football. Defenses are important. Pass rush is important, but if you can't stop the run, and if you can't score consistently, like why are you paying him $100 million? Like it's not like Aaron Rodgers. It's Aaron Rodgers of old. Then this deal would have made much more sense. But you're banking on the fact that Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers of old. That's what you're banking on with this deal. This is not a very good deal. It really isn't a good deal for Pittsburgh. It's great for TJ Watt, but this is not a good deal for them. Think about it like this. This guy getting paid $41 million. It's $9 million away from a quarterback. The quarterback position, you look at the quarterback position, they on the field about 70% of the snaps of each game. He's on the field maybe 40 to 50 times, 50 snaps on the defense. And most of them are not in pass rush situations. Think about that. So are you really getting the bang for your buck with TJ Watt?
Southside, Mucho, what's going on? Southside said TJ, like, hell, I'm doing my job. It ain't my fault.
Yeah, I expect
But
nothing outside of Southside don't use his brain. He talk he like to jack off. He like to jack off players. He don't use team.
oh my, really, Mike,
I
we
know
are.
Southside. He know that Southside know he my nigga. But he know he jacks off players. He know that. Ask him about LeBron James. Ask him.
Look, see, we
You
not
know
going
exactly what
down
he's
on the
talking about.
mic. We is not about to go down
I
this
know
road with this
Southside.
shit.
Southside
Lord,
knows.
please don't. We not about to go down that road. But
Ask him about basketball. Ask him about basketball. You see exactly
no,
what I'm
no,
talking
no, 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 no. We not about to
about.
sit up
I'm,
here and gaslight throat sessions for damn LeBron James. I'm not doing it.
Now,
No.
Southside, I'm not saying. I'm see you talking about from a player standpoint. I'm talking about the contract. This ain't about the player. I'm speaking on it from the contract. This is a dumb contract. There's nothing smart about this contract. He's 30 years old. This is a good faith contract. Good faith contracts don't typically pan out for the team. Now, this could be one of those instances where it does pan out, but Kev, how many good faith contracts actually work out when a player is 30 and up?
From a Falcons fan
No, I'm just
standpoint,
talking about all around, not just in
all
Falcons.
around in general, oh, it don't, not too often. It don't happen that often at all.
Look at Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers had that big old contract. Guess what happened? He was gone within 2 years. Matt
But I
Ryan,
like,
Julio Jones.
let's see, Matt Ryan, Julio Jones.
Look at Dak
Yeah,
Prescott. We having a whole country. We having a conversation about Dak Prescott right now about this very topic.
right. Yeah, you can say it's just like the Max Fried contract. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at it from this standpoint here as far as that contract. It almost seemed like Pittsburgh pulled this contract as a shot to the Cincinnati Bengals, knowing they damn situation going on
Mm-hmm.
right now with their pass rushers. That's why I'm kind of that's where I'm thinking they're going with it. It's the up show the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, this is what happens when you take care of your pass rushers. As you already know, Trey Henderson is still going under contract negotiations. You got a first round pick that don't know if he won't still be there or not. Like I said, we don't know.
No, I wholeheartedly agree. This is try to bankrupt Cincinnati. No, I definitely agree with you there.
Because if we look at it from the standpoint of that, that's been one of the bigger stories in the offseason was what is Cincinnati doing with their star guys at pass rusher? What are they doing with their first round pick? Where that the news coming out or rumors going around that he's going back. He he's sitting out because of languages in the contract that he ain't trying to play on.
Uh-huh.
So it's like Pittsburgh, like I said, it's like the Steelers kind of held back on this contract for a good little while, but then they finally just pulled it and say, okay, yeah, here you go. You're gonna be the highest paid player in NFL history.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, that's the biggest question. Does that make the Pittsburgh Steelers better?
Hell no.
Like
Hell no.
does that like you said, is Jalen Ramsey that greater of an upgrade over Minka Fitzpatrick, where you sacrifice the inside safety slash corner inside guy for an outside guy?
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do about Alex Highsmith?
Yep. And that's why I think Highsmith is out of here because like look, you can get two pass rushers for the fucking money you just gave Watt.
Right.
You could possibly get two, three defensive linemen for that matter.
Mm.
This is not a smart deal, y'all. This 41 million a year. Okay? Think about that for a second. This is 41 million a year. This is not a smart deal.
So would you think that this would be a smart deal if you knew you were getting 17 plus sacks a season? Because you
Mm-mm.
also have to remember with TJ Watt, he's also missed a couple years due to injury and stuff too.
The injury. And I talked about that in a video that I broke this down. Now, the thing is, it's the deal. Okay? It's not his play. Because a lot of people thinking I'm saying the same thing. I'm not saying the exact same thing. This deal is a terrible deal. It's a terrible deal because now that money that you could potentially get to a Highsmith, which is what 15 to about 20 million. Somebody got to go, whether it's on the offense side of the ball or the defense side of the ball. So, in my opinion, Kim, this contract is a we going all out one time, and if we don't make the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl, I'm firing Mike Tomlin because there's no way in hell I'm getting T.J. Watt $41 million a year.
I didn't think about that. But you said so. Before we get to the main topic, basically from this contract extension and kind of like the talks around town, as far as from our vantage point, looking at Pittsburgh, this is what you would call a make or break year for Mike Tomlin.
Without question.
Mm,
This is
because
a
that's
dumb
what.
deal. This is not a smart deal. That's why I'm saying all of this.
Okay. Because it's kind of because it's like I said, the reason why I asked that question is because is if you know the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise, you always know they always got somebody waiting in the wings. You already knew Tomlin after Bill Cowher was kind of a guy that they were grooming to be the next guy. Now, if this is one of those cases where they're trying to groom Arthur Smith to be the next guy after Mike Tomlin, see, now we got a whole
Mm.
different conversation going on.
I
And
mean,
the only reason why, and the only reason why I'm throwing that out there is John Smith, is Aaron Rodgers. Because if we know about the Arthur Smith system, it works very well when you have a veteran quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
So they're kind of so that's why I asked the question to the people that's watching right now. Is Arthur Smith the next guy groomed to be the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach? Just in case if Mike Tomlin don't work out.
Mm. Because he's been down this road before, and now, yeah, he's been down this road before. Arthur Smith has a rebuilding team, so he's the perfect guy.
Mm, okay. So like I said, congratulations to like I said, TJ Watt, get your money. Tell any player get your money. But the
Yeah,
thing
don't
about
give
it
a shit.
is, like I said, the thing about it is, at the end of the day, they are going to, like I said, it's going to be a lot of expectations going for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2025. All right, let's go ahead and get right into the main topic of today's show. And this is going to be Dallas Cowboys related. Lord have mercy. As the question comes down to is, and speaking of the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have a relation to this topic at hand. And one George Pickens, who was recently acquired this offseason by the Dallas Cowboys in a trade to help bolster Dallas Cowboys offense, in which you have one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL in Dak Prescott, who is under a lot of pressure, not only from Cowboys fans, but sports media in general, based on reputation wise. So, my question to you is, as a quarterback guy in yourself, what are your thoughts on the skill set of Dak Prescott? Dakota Prescott.
Uh, Dak is probably the safest bet if you are going to surround your team around a bunch of superstar skill players. Like he's the perfect guy that you want because he's not going to make a lot of mistakes. I know a lot of Cowboy fans hate his guts, but he's not going to make a lot of mistakes. That Dak doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He doesn't turn the ball over as much as people say he does. He just does it at the wrong time. He just does it at the wrong time.
Well, like I said, a lot of mistakes versus mistakes at the wrong time. I'd
Yeah.
rather take a guy that makes a lot of mistakes. You don't want to have that guy that just fucks up at the worst time. That that shit ain't. I see why that reputation coincides with him. But go ahead, Mike.
But that like when you look at Dak, those are the things he's gonna put up a bunch of numbers. He's gonna pass for 4,000. Like you can you can definitely etch that in stone. That's what he does well. So he makes sound decisions. Um, he can move in the pocket. So he fits the current NFL statute in regard to the athleticism. Um, you can get some extra yards in him, and that's why you can go get a guy like Nate Doodoo. I mean, damn, what his name is? Nate Doodoo, who is in Carolina. You can get a guy like that, rush for like 700 yards, and Dak can get you about 300 yards rushing.
This nigga here.
I thought, my bad. I thought his name was Nate Doodoo. Um, but like that is the guy that's gonna get you a bunch of numbers. But like I said, if you want to stack your team with skill players, he's your quarterback. They're gonna put up numbers with those skill players, but when you got skill players like that, you need a quarterback that's not gonna make a damn bunch of turnovers.
Mm.
A la Mr. Who? Tony Romo.
Hey, you kind of read my mind right there, because that's what I was kind of thinking. It's kind of like the Dallas Cowboy tradition as far as the quarterback wise. Because when I look at Dak Prescott, I do see that Tony Romo esque style, but he's not as reckless as Tony Romo.
Uh-huh.
But the reputation is at the wrong damn time. But keep on going, Mike.
But like I said, with Dak Prescott, I mean, with the offensive line issues, they got a lot of offensive line issues with them. I mean, Dallas always gonna have skilled players up front. Like that's one thing I expect that to improve. But if they can't do it, it's gonna be a long year for them. But like I said, Dak is that guy. They got a new offensive guy in there with a different type of play calling style for the most part. Um, they're changing a bit. CeeDee Lamb is their number one guy, and then they got, and I'm saying we because Georgia Bulldog. Don't say I'm not saying we because I'm a fucking Cowboy fan. But you got
Fuck the Cowboys. But anyway,
fuck the Cowboys. I'm a Georgia Bulldog at heart, so I kind of had to check myself for saying we because I'm talking about George Pickens, but like George Pickens is a guy that's gonna make big plays. So if that can if that can prevent from turning the ball over and running the ball when needed, because you don't know what that Dallas Cowboy running game gonna look like this year.
hmm. Well, first of all, who is their running backs this year? I
And
know.
nobody knows. No, nobody knows. Nobody
I
fucking
know they
knows.
got Deuce. I know they got Deuce Bonds. Deuce
Um,
Bonds ass. I know. That's the only running back I know they got right now. Uh,
oh, okay. So Dallas Cowboys and their roster. They running backs. They have okay. Go start with this one first. Okay. Um, you got obviously Devontae Williams.
Okay,
Um,
Javante Williams. Okay,
uh-huh. You
been
have
healthy, but he's looking for a resurgence. Okay.
interesting trade off, but they got Miles Sanders, Jaden
Uh,
Boo. So they got a Deuce
Miles.
Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn is another one of those guys. I don't know who this Phil Mafa. Hold up, I do know that name. I don't know why that name, but Phil
So
Mafa
they
is another one of the guys.
Phil Buffalo. So they basically got a bunch of injury prone guys that's looking to
Yes,
redeem themselves.
yes.
Okay. Okay. I mean, going to a team that's a pass first offense, like I said, that definitely would be something that could be a very benefit to him. I mean, like I said, I do like Javante Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Coming out of North Carolina, like I said, he just
Mm-hmm.
stay healthy. Don't give a fuck about Miles Sanders. But like you said,
Yes,
he is a
outside.
capable
They
running
had
back.
Rico Doodoo. Rico Doodoo played for Carolina now.
Oh, Lord. That's who you was talking about. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So, so the next question that's going to be asked is, what's going to be the importance of George Pickens as the wide receiver two in Dallas, in your opinion?
Um, the importance of him is really just a big play. They don't really have a big play. I mean, like you just, I'm not a fan of CD Lamb. I look. I think he's a high volume receiver. I'm not saying he's not a good receiver. I think he's very good, but I think he get a lot of numbers because he's a high volume. He's the main target of that offense. Now he does make plays, but hit a lot of the plays he make against a bunch of screwed people. Um, I don't think Philadelphia has a great secondary. All y'all can go to fucking hell if you don't agree with me. I just think Philadelphia secondary is garbage. I'm just gonna be they look they get a lot of they make a lot of plays in there because they get consistent pressure. I don't think that
Well,
they
you
have
don't like Cooper DeJean. You don't like Jason C. Horn Jr.
look no I don't no no and they moving him to safety from what I understand too.
Jason, like I said, Jason C. Horn Jr.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Jason Sehorn Jr. What the fuck? Okay, but I'm just not a big. I'm not a big CD Lamb fan. I just never was. He's a high volume guy, and he make plays when the ball is coming. But when you need him the most, CD Lamb disappears like Dak Prescott, not Dak Prescott, but um Tony Romo.
Oh wow. Oh wow. I mean, I do like you said. I know you don't like CD. I actually do like CD Lamb's game. I do. I mean, I do see a lot of big plays. Like you say, he is a big play guy to me. Honestly, um, like you said, the biggest thing that's going to come with the Dallas Cowboys offense is with the retirement of Zach Martin. And, Tyron Smith is not there anymore. Like you said, we don't know the offensive line situation, and we've known that their running game has not really been that great in the last few years. Is can they maintain the balance good enough for them to actually push them over the hump? Because, like you said, with Dak Prescott, and this is one of the major topics of this show is this a win or go home situation for Dak Prescott, who just not even a couple years ago ended up getting a major contract extension, which made him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL at that time. And like you said, man, it and I don't know what, I don't know where, I don't know who, I don't know the offensive court. Like I said, you don't have a Kellen Moore in Dallas anymore. I don't know who their offensive coordinator is like that. Like I say, might people the book Jesus might have to fact check me on that.
You said the offensive coordinator. You
Yeah.
want to so the they have brought a guy. Well, Brian Schottenheimer is the guy there.
Okay, Brian Schottenheimer.
So
So
the
they
offense
got
is going to be a little
they
bit
got
different.
somebody notable. So like I said,
Mm-hmm.
they
But
have an
Clayton Adams is
opportunity.
the guy there. Clayton
Yeah.
Adams is the guy there.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. So it is Brian Schottenheimer.
so
So they have
Brian Schottenheimer is the guy.
they have an opportunity to make something offensively. But like you said, the biggest issue is, and from a lot of the football fans, is going to be Dak Prescott.
Uh-huh.
Can Dak Prescott get get them over the hump to the playoffs? These are kind of the questions as Falcon fans that we've asked for our quarterbacks for years.
Well,
But
they
we
put
are
offensive. They OC, excuse me, Gil. They OC and Clayton Adams is the offensive line guy. So he's
mm,
Schottenheimer's essentially going to be the passing game guy, and the offensive when he needs to get involved, they're going to run the ball. So that's why Clayton Adams is the guy there to kind of marry the two.
but like it's yeah. So the main question is we have to ask is, can the offensive line hold up for the Dallas
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys offense to be able to have that type of
Mm-hmm.
balance for them to get over the hump?
Mm-hmm.
So this goes down to the next question that I have to ask you about this subject is, if the Cowboys don't reach the next level in 2025, is this it for Dakota Prescott in Dallas?
I see no reason to keep him there, to be honest,
Hmm.
because you
Explain that.
got you got rid of Tony Romo for the same reasons, not being able to win the big games. You're just paying guys to put up a bunch of numbers at this point.
And that
Like
sounds
it's
like a
supposed to
Jerry
be
Jones
about, it's supposed to
problem
be
right
about
there
winning.
too.
Hmm.
That
That's
sounds
a
like a
Jerry
Jerry
Jones.
Jones issue.
Yep. Like you can't win 13 games with Dak Prescott put up the numbers that he put up and not do anything.
Essentially what it comes down to is Dak Prescott is another one of the quarterbacks that fall under the category of what we call the Matt Ryan standard. But because he is a Cowboys quarterback, and we know most football fans, including us, is like, fuck them goddamn Cowboys. We get him a little bit of hell on that shit, and a lot of people look at it as well deserved.
I mean, I'm not going. If you blame everything on Dak, man, you are the hater.
Mm,
That whole fucking franchise is a mess. Don't point the finger at Dak.
mm.
I mean, your good ideal in free agency is as a general manager slash owner was to bring back that fat slob and what that motherfucker Ohio State the running back? God damn it.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Ezekiel Elliott. Like that was the big free agent splash to bring that bullshit back. And then
Especially when you bring him back to a team in which they changed the whole philosophy of the franchise.
that made no sense.
Sam here said the Dak hate is well deserved. Damn, damn. Like I said, I think that's just more so for the fact that he got the Dallas Cowboy. He played for the Dallas Cowboys more than anything.
Uh-huh.
I think that's really what it comes down to. Um, he said Dak been tricked off a lot of seasons. But like I said, at the same time, we can say that about a lot of guys as well.
Uh-huh.
But I think where the issue comes down to is we haven't seen this team get any better. We haven't seen them take it to the next level. We haven't seen Dak take it to the next level. We haven't seen the Cowboys in general take it to the next level. Now we find it comical that they haven't been shit. We find it very, very comical, and we laugh
Uh-huh.
at it. But this is just one of those subjects that a lot of the sports media is mostly talking about is the Dallas Cowboys. Southside here said, I believe it could be it for him, especially if they keep losing in the playoffs with him at quarterback. And that's the interesting part about it is what is the next plan or what is the follow-up plan for them if they feel like this is a make or break season for them. Do you think that they follow through with the prophecy and you have Jerry Jones that may want to look at a Deion Sanders and bring his ass to Dallas, which means you know that Dallas most likely would trade for Shador Sanders if he doesn't play and bring his boy down there.
Well,
Do you think
Dion
they
said
have
you're
an?
gonna have to pay him. So
You,
Dion said you're gonna have to pay him and give him what he wants. So you
knowing,
probably not
knowing,
far.
knowing Jerry Jones ass, he'll pay his ass. 'Cause we know Jerry Jones is definitely one of those guys who likes the side. He likes the side missions that come with the NFL, the sideshow stuff.
Uh-huh.
So that could definitely be something that they may pull. Now the next question that comes with this is Mike McCarthy. They don't make the playoffs. Should they fire him if this
Well,
offense
that's
doesn't?
Brian Schottenheimer, kid. I just tell you. Brian Schottenheimer is the guy.
Hmm,
Yep.
okay, okay, well, that just shows how much I care. But
Yeah, they it was a buyout.
I
It
forgot
was a
about that.
buyout. Mm-hmm. No,
I forgot all about that.
yeah, it was a buyout. Nobody give a fuck about Brian Schottenheimer. That's why everybody forgot he was a fucking hell. I forgot he was the head coach.
I forgot all about that shit.
Nobody
Because
gave a shit when they hired him. It
we
was
made
toward
it
the end
so
of the year. Yep.
we made it so hell bent about Dak Prescott.
Mm-hmm.
We fucking forgot. But
Yep.
hey, look. I don't mind the fact checking. I love the fact checking. 'Cause I damn forgot. Like you said,
I forgot.
we
I
been
forgot he was the head
we've
guy.
been so caught up in this bullshit within the Falcons organization. We about fucking forgot about all this other shit that done came on it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a mess in Dallas.
Oh
Cause
wow.
they hired another do boy because Dallas they were so like the Dallas fan was so mad about the Brian Schottenheimer and say he just another do
Oh,
boy.
I forgot
Yep,
all about that. I forgot
yep.
all about that.
Hmm.
I forgot about that. Yeah, they were pissed off about that shit. Um.
They wanted
So,
Dion. Remember?
oh yeah, because I remember I had made the bold prediction and said that Deion Sanders was
Yep,
going to be the next head coach for the
yep.
Cowboys, and it didn't come through, and I was
Uh-huh.
shocked. I remember that now. But back to Mr. Dak Prescott, aka Mr. Dakota himself, as a guy outside looking in. Do you think that he can lead the Cowboys to the playoffs, in your honest opinion?
Dak Prescott, can he do it?
Can he lead the Cowboys to the playoffs in 2025?
Hell no. I don't think he can put up a he can be a top five offense. That Dallas Cowboy defense is a mess. Okay, it's an
They got
atrocity. They ain't gonna be able to
not
stop
with
shit.
Michael Parsons, not Michael Parsons,
Yep.
not a
They're gonna pay
defense with
him $50 million
Trevon
a year.
Diggs.
Watch. Michael Parsons about to get paid $50 million a year now that TJ Watt done got his sack.
Shout out to my boy Wanye Thomas, Georgia Tech love. Shout out to him and Marquette Bell family. Shout out to those two who's still on the roster. But
Mhm.
uh okay, so Southside asked, but could y'all see the Cowboys shocking the Eagles on Thursday night opener week 1 in Philly? Oh, really? That's the first man, 6-man combo
Hell yeah,
about to
like
be
I
some
said.
man, the 6-man combo about to be some so this is about to kick off a good note this offseason, this regular season.
Mhm.
So and the reason why I say that is there's also going to be a new direction going on this channel as well. So, like I said beforehand, if you want mainly Falcon shows, and I had to convince Mike about this. So if you want exclusive Falcon shows like that, we'll still do Falcon content, but based on the algorithms and based on what's been pushing on this channel, it seems like the Falcons content has took a big nosedive over here, but everything else has went straight up. So, like you said, once the regular season starts, the 6 will be Thursday night football previews. So if you want full Falcon content, you got to go to the Heavy Hitters Live, or you're going to have to go to which as Atlanta Falcon Nation,
Uh, or you could
because the
just hit those
originators,
super chats, man, and we would get that towards the
yeah,
end of the show.
yeah, we'll do that too. Because we're definitely going to be looking to do some more expanding out here, because we're going to give the Atlanta Falcon fans exactly what they want. They don't want us talking Falcon football like that, so we're going to give them exactly what they want. But
Smoke DVD.
smoke weed every day. Lord, I'm at the call later. Lord have mercy. Um, so Mike, what's your last take on this topic before we go to the Q&A, man? You got any final thoughts you want to got before we get to the Q&A?
My thing is I don't trust Washington. Y'all can say whatever the hell y'all want to. Y'all can
Like,
jump on Green Dick Stick all you want to, but I'm not. I'm not jumping on a bandwagon after 1 year. Like it's still Dan Quinn, okay, and he's still a young quarterback. I could care less about 1 good year. So I'm not sold on that. I'm not sold on that bullshit that they got at quarterback in Philadelphia, because that's some bullshit. All that motherfucker did was throw the ball for less than 3,000 yards in the damn season and hand the ball off 500 times to them damn running backs. So I'm not sold about them. So I'm not gonna leave Dallas out for the simple fact they can score points, but that defense is gonna be total shit.
Lord, Lord. So we're gonna go ahead and go right into the Q&A portion of the show. Last 15 minutes. Like you said, man. So yeah, like I said, let us know what you want to talk about. So we don't. So like you said, this is the Q&A portion. And while we're waiting on some questions, Mike, you got anything else you want to speak on? Anything in the sports world that's on your mind?
Yep, I want a PSA the truth. Leave Trey Young alone, okay? That man ain't did nothing to you. He coming to he's working out. He's helping build a young team, giving his input. He never gonna be
Mhm.
a defensive player like Joe Dumas. So leave that man alone, okay? Goddamn true. He get ready to pick on Trey Young for no fucking reason. This man despises, and then he get mad at me because I'm calling out his bullshit. This man be ready to fight me over Trey Young. I'm
Lord,
not joking. He big 6'4" ass. Look, we about the same. I'm like a half. Yeah, I'm like 6'3". He's 6'4" and some stuff and some change. And we about the same damn height, but this motherfucker outweigh me about 150 pounds. Be ready to fight me over Trey Young. Be ready to fight me over Trey Young. You don't gonna tell me how to goddamn feel about Trey Young. I'm not that light skinned motherfucker. Be ready to fight me over Trey Young. Yeah, Kev, look, me and Kev done had plenty of little one on ones with truth about Trey Young. Well, sure, we say 2-on-1s in a situation where he said both of you, yeah, man, y'all jumping me. I can't believe you can't style. How you do a bit like that? I'm surprised by you. So, truth, leave Trey Young alone. Give the man an opportunity. Good gosh.
but I will say this though. Like I said, this is kind of what I've noticed. This is kind of what I've noticed, and kind of added on to. And yes, I got an opportunity to put on my straight jacket for the asylum earlier today. But the one thing I did notice, and this is something that I had to go back and look at, um, is I always notice that the biggest issues that you do have, for some reason, my name always get brought up into it.
Hmm.
I don't know if you noticed that. I don't know if anybody in the group noticed that, but
Hmm.
it always comes down to somebody got a problem with you, but then they bring my name into it, and then when I ask them about, okay, what do I have to do with this? The very same people always tell me, well, you don't have the. I'll say, I don't know why you're jumping into this as if you're trying to defend Mike. Main thing I always say is, I wouldn't feel like that if you didn't bring my name into it. And I've seen this happen way too many times. See, see, the
Way
thing
too
that
much.
I haven't, and Mike, this is the first time I'm telling you this, and I've kind of noticed, kind of doing this content stuff for the few years that we've been doing this thing. Like I said, I've been getting death threats from people since 2020, nigga. This shit is fucking hilarious to me.
But I'm the bad guy though.
You
Make that make sense.
and that's the funny part. That's the funny part that I don't get is for those that are kind of like the veteran viewers of Mad My Sports, K Styles Dynamic, AFN, and all that stuff. For those that have been watching us since the beginning, as much as they talk about how Mike is disrespectful to people, if you really look at those shows, it was really me that was disrespecting everybody.
Well, I got a
We be
character
do
that really people
we,
like that.
we
That's the problem.
like I
They
said, the
don't really
thing
want to
is,
be mad at you because you don't have the perceived character to be an asshole.
see, they don't want to be mad at me because I come off as the weak link.
Mm-hmm.
I come off as kind of like the quiet the
Yeah,
quiet punk
cool
of the
guy.
group, the
It's the
cool guy.
quiet cool guy. Yeah, man, you can't hit Cass. Look at K Star. He like a big old teddy bear. Okay.
Exactly. Because the thing about it is, and the only reason why I'm saying this is because remember when you started, like I said, I told you, like I tell you, before, I've known you before you even did a channel.
Yes. Yes.
I know you because this friendship ain't on no YouTube shit, nigga. I
Mm-hmm.
ain't got to do a goddamn thing of content here, and we still friends.
Yes.
But it almost seems like the minute that I stepped into this thing and kind of being the right hand man to you, that's when a lot of people started having real problems with you. And
Yeah.
I've kind of been noticed because the thing is about for what folks don't know about me. Yes, I don't come off as very intimidating because I'm very, very friendly, or I'm just cool. I'm just humble about things. But I'm very, very observant of certain shit. And what
Mm-hmm.
I notice is a lot of the people that kind of have an issue with you, Mike, is the people they never had an issue with what you did until they became the subject of the clowning.
Yes.
Because I know for me, I like I said, and I tell people all the time, I don't do this shit for clout. I don't give a fuck no none of these motherfuckers like me or not. But the thing about it is I always say that this is therapy for me because I don't get opportunities to really talk football like that. I mean, I do talk football at work and stuff like that, but I don't really talk
In
talk
depth, like,
like that.
yeah, in depth, yeah, like that.
Right. And it kind of gives me an opportunity to let off a little steam. Because for those that don't know, K Styles was the original eight drunk guards of the Falcon contest space. I was the original drunk of, of the
Yeah,
Falcon contest
yeah,
space.
we had to have
I used to
several
catch
talks
I
about that.
Maggie and Mike used to give me hell about how much I was drinking on the live and cracking jokes and, and getting into fights with people.
Yep. Yes,
I want to
indeed.
ask everybody a question that's watching this shit, that's watching this right now. How many of y'all remember that shit? I want to ask, how many of y'all really do remember that? Because I don't think a lot of people kind of remember that because the thing about it is I've kind of changed my mindset as far as how I do this. I went
Mm-hmm.
from the drinking on live and cracking jokes and getting into arguments with people to more so being more focused on the conversation itself. And I think a lot of people kind of had a problem with that. See, when we was wild, belligerent, and acted ignorant, nobody had an issue. But once it kind of started acting,
So we got
once
some
we
goddamn
switched
sense.
it,
So we got
once
some
we
goddamn
switched it,
sense.
and they found out that I wasn't an ignorant drunk nigga, that's when they started having a problem.
When we started talking like we got some goddamn sense, that's when shit got bad.
That's when shit got bad, bro.
That's crazy as hell.
That's where people was telling me I need to commit suicide. That's where I was told that you need to get shot by somebody. That's what I said. You need to kill like all that shit started coming out. I said, damn, bro.
Yep.
That's
I'ma
how, like I
save the
said,
world from the wrath of Mad Mike.
I'm gonna say the
Mad Mike.
Wrath of Bad Mike and K Style. You a bitch because of Mike because you let Mike tell you what to do and why you don't speak up for yourself and like I said that's why I said damn.
Motherfucker, he telling me to shut the fuck up on the show. Never mind. Never mind. Never
See,
mind.
but that's the thing about the dynamic, Mike. The dynamic is that most people think, and this is why I always say this is my favorite phrase that I always use. And I didn't realize that this was actually a 48 laws of power. The you have to play the fool to catch a fool, and a lot of times that's why I always say I want to be the dumbest guy in the room. I want you to think. I need no. I'm gonna say this, Mike. I'm gonna say this one more time. I need y'all to think I'm the weakest guy in the room. I want it. Because guess what happens? By you thinking I'm the weakest guy in the room or I'm the softy, you just made it that much easier for me. The empty fort strategy is a real thing, bro. That I want everybody to look up what the empty fort strategy is. Do you have an idea what the empty fort strategy is, Mike?
Excuse me.
And
What
I
the
can't believe I'm giving I can't believe I'm giving this out for free, but whatever. Do you know what the empty fort strategy is, Mike?
well, um, give the impression
You give
that
like I said, you give the impression that you are at your weakest point, that
mm-hmm,
it lowers the guard of the person that's trying to off you. But what ends up happening is while their guard is off, you've already planned for the attack.
mm-hmm,
That's how you do things.
mm-hmm. Your guard is lowered because you think it's over. It's done.
Hmm. But while that's going on, you don't realize that you've been like you've been set up or you have been set to do something.
Mm-hmm.
See, K Styles, aka Kev, is very observant of everything and everybody. That's why I always say we got eyes and ears everywhere. And regardless on if you think you got the upper hand,
Mm.
I don't think you want to play that game very well. Not with this group of guys.
Nah, I wouldn't advise you to do that.
And I know so, and I know it's a couple of y'all in here right now that's watching and seeing this stuff. Be very wary, my friend, because a lot of times you could be part of a pawn in the game that everybody's already been aware of.
Mm.
Because the weakest fish in the pond can lower your guard, and all of a sudden, boom, you got an alligator ready to snap your fucking neck right there in the same water.
Mm-hmm.
hmm So I will say one thing before I leave up out of here. Y'all think I forgot about? You think we forgot about the list of names? The list is still there. I just haven't played that. I haven't played that pawn yet. And when I play that pawn, your asses is about to find out the hard way about who K Styles really is, who Mad Mike Sport really is, who Mr. Tactician, Mr. Y, the Unholy Alliance. You're gonna find out what it really is.
These
So,
names are these names that we have are for a reason. Look,
hmm
y'all realize that these names
and
ain't
let's
just because we like them.
and let's just say I found out where they all congregate at.
Oh yeah, we know
We found exactly where who we done found multiple places where they congregate at, but y'all
Mhm.
asses didn't know I was there.
We know who the ringleader is. We know who they're talking to. We saw them talking to each other. We saw all of that.
hmm
Believe it or not, I have access to every last one of these people.
You have access to every last one of them,
Hmm.
and guess what? It's so gangster. The very person that y'all are associated with, that y'all like to play the game with, who you think we didn't know, we already know. So until next time, people, we ain't here to play.
Oh no.
We here to stay.
Oh yeah, nigga.
You ain't gotta go home.
But you got to get the hell out of here. Oh yeah.
And remember, people, just because somebody seems weak, doesn't mean they weak.
Mm.
That just means that you perceiving weakness can actually
Mm.
be your downfall.
Mm.
Deuces.
Put your eyes back in your head.
Popped out like flavor. What, Beezer?
Pry their eyes open and force them to see the truth. We will skin the sheep and sacrifice the weak. The unholy alliance has arrived.